So many people are comparing this machine, the Wendougee Data S, to the Decent, but if you watch this video, you'll see that that's not really accurate at all. This isn't a copycat just because it has a tablet. It's a dual boiler with pretty advanced controls over flow, temperature, and profiling that may not be revolutionary, but are definitely very cool at this price point. When companies like Sanremo with their U machine and Espresso with their ES1 started offering this level of performance, they priced it a lot higher. But is it a decent killer, and can it do all the coffee science things that an espresso nerd would want to try out? Well, mostly yes, but it's not perfect, and I'll explain why in this video. Full disclosure, Espresso Outlet sent me this for a review, but they've agreed to having no influence over editorial and no access to the video before it goes live on my channel. So if you want to pick one up after watching the video, go to the link in the description. Okay, let's make an espresso. Look at that. This is a carbonic maceration coffee by Curve. Very jammy and sweet, a little funky, which I love, and this shot is just exceptional because of all the controls that I have. Now, the first thing I did when I got this machine was start working on my own profiles and making a lever profile and testing out all kinds of different shots like Slayer shots or blooming espresso. Not a lot of machines can give you data on flow rates, pressure, timings, and temperature, but even with all that tech, I still prefer to keep my dial-in settings on paper in a brew ledger. This is a journal I designed for you to write your settings and notes down so you can dial in faster and switch coffees whenever you like and always come back to perfectly dialed in espresso. There's a link in the description if you'd like to pick one up. What you may have noticed was that when I was pulling that shot, it stopped without me doing anything. That's because the machine has Bluetooth connection to coffee scales that have this feature. I'm using the Buku Themis Mini, and you can do shot by weight on top of all the other variables you have control over with your tablet or phone. And it syncs automatically as soon as you turn the scale on, though I do wish it would start the timer on the scale as well as on the app for when I'm using the hardware paddle to pull a shot without the tablet on. It can also connect to Wendougee's Milo grinder to sync grinder settings. It's a pretty cool feature if it works and helps you adjust your grinder settings more accurately and quickly, but I can't comment on that as I don't have one of their grinders. I'll talk more about the app in a minute, but the first thing, and probably the most impressive, is what Wendougee has done with the hardware. One of the main things that makes this machine different to the Decent is that it has a rotary pump, not a vibration pump. They last a lot longer, they have a much more consistent flow rate, and they're quieter and a nicer sound. As far as I'm concerned, a rotary pump is just better, and I think the reason that Decent has a vibration pump is because it's easier to handle micro temperature changes with the way their system is designed. The only issue I found looking at it with my brother, and I'm not even sure it is that you should make sure to open it up and check that the cables inside aren't touching any hot pipes. I found two right next to this pipe coming off the steam boiler, and while they did have insulation and a thermal sleeve between them, this kind of insulation is not really enough over a long period, so I just folded it up here and out of the way. Definitely worth checking, but other than that, the internals are really fantastic and easy to work on. If and when anything goes wrong over the years or decades of having a machine like this and you need to make repairs, it seems like everything is really easy to access in stages, so big props for keeping everything nice and neat, so a little maintenance can keep this machine going for a long time. And the Data S is a dual boiler with separate boilers for steam and brew, so you can steam while you're pulling your shots. For people like me who like milky drinks, this is kind of a necessary thing now. I don't like waiting for the steam to heat up, and I probably wouldn't accept a single boiler now that I've had machines like this for a few years. And you can set the temperature on both boilers independently. You'll have to wait a little while for the brew temp to change, so it's not like you can just jump from 96 to 91 and then just go immediately from shot to shot. I tested this with the Kremaloop temperature analyzer, and the temperature is around 1 degree C under the boiler temperature listed. This is of course after a full heat up of around 20 minutes and flushing some water through the group for a few seconds. When I set it to the max temperature that I generally use, 96 degrees C, I found that the temp was oscillating 1 degree either side before raising slightly after 45 seconds of just pulling water through the group. The rise is likely due to the pipes heating up more and losing less heat along the path of the group as more water went through. But when you're pulling a shot, it's just not sending that much constant water. You're only using around 65 mils to pull a normal shot, so this temperature raise is not going to be a problem. But in this way, the Decent, with that weird click clicking sound, which is the vibration pump adjusting water temperature, is a little more consistent at the group because it's adjusting at the group, whereas this machine adjusts the boiler temperature to estimate the delta between it and the group, which is inherently less accurate. Now, I do love the ability to adjust the steam boiler. At first, I put it on nearly full whack at 135 degrees C, but I found that not only was this way too powerful and heated the milk too fast, but it also made it a little less silky. It kind of got this foamy gloss that wasn't very good for pouring latte art, but I changed it down to 126, and at that temperature, it's basically perfect. Some of the best steam I've gotten from a home machine. With a 4-hole steam tip, it's super easy to get a nice roll every time with the same positioning. As for the machine internals and build, everything is outstanding. The hardware is up there with La Marzocco in terms of just engineering and quality. Personally, I love the look, and I'm really glad I went with the black and rose gold. The wood accents on the paddle and the stock portafilter are perfect. It just looks very professional. I do really like the bottomless portafilter that comes with it. It has a very La Marzocco-esque handle design, but I did end up getting this Pasado hybrid portafilter so I could split my shots for latte art practice and pull 2 single shot drinks for smaller cups. And damn, does this black and brass just go perfectly with the black and rose gold version of the machine. Now, the machine overall is incredibly heavy, probably the heaviest machine I've had since the Nuri L type, which was a much bigger machine with that lever and everything. Even though it's heavy, it's not that big. The biggest dimension is how deep it goes at 49 centimeters, which means it'll take up more counter space than a lot of home machines, but it's only 29 centimeters wide and 37 centimeters high without the tablet, so a little shorter than the Meraki at 41 centimeters. Depending on which tablet you use, it'll be just a little taller at the front of the machine. I like heavy, it's reassuring, but it does make it harder to move around on the table, and especially taking it off the table to take thumbnail photos for my videos has me realizing I need to lift heavier at the gym. The drip tray is also the best I've ever seen on any espresso machine, and you might think that this isn't such a big deal, but I absolutely love that they've put a raised plate under the steam wand so you don't get spray up when purging, even if there's liquid in the drip tray. It has a slot at the back for a waste tube, but if you just want to pour out the water in the drip tray quickly, the little bit underneath the machine for the solenoid to dump into makes for a great spout to just pour out the water. Can't say anything bad about this drip tray, gold stars. Everybody, please copy this. And it's very easy to back flush with an automatic cleaning cycle that only takes around a minute. Just stick in the blind disc that they include in the box and press this button. You can change the parameters in the settings, but the default is fine. I try to remember to do this every few days, just with the blind disc, and around once a month with a 1/4 teaspoon or so of Pulicaf to keep everything clean. So far, it sounds like this is the perfect machine, but I do have to talk about the app. Now, when I first started writing this script and adding details about it, I have to say I was annoyed with the app. I was going to conclude that the hardware is great, but the app sucks, and I hope they improve it. For example, one morning when I was heading into London for a job, there was a server issue that made it impossible to log in. So I couldn't use my light roast profile and had to just go with the standard profile that was bound to the paddle here. So that made me think I was going to say in this video that I was annoyed that you needed an always-on connection, but they fixed it, and now it works without Wi-Fi on, just connecting to the machine by Bluetooth. Then I was going to say that it was annoying that you had to go to the settings pages and wait for them to load in order to change the boiler temperatures. It was slow and cumbersome to use the app sometimes, with lots of little loading rings, but they fixed that too and added a boiler temp change button to the front page. And then I was going to say that the front page was unintuitive and difficult to use for someone who isn't as nerdy as me and didn't understand all the pressure and flow rate stuff comfortably. But then they added an easy mode with simple layouts to just pull a shot on demand. So where the software was originally going to be a pretty significant drawback, now all of my complaints seem to have been addressed in the past few months, with updates that have improved functionality and reduced the amount of time or taps that you need to get where you want to go. The only thing I would say that isn't great is the way the curve sharing page is arranged. When you publish your curves to be shared online, they ask for a picture, and a lot of users just take a photo of their machine, completely unhelpful. What would be great is if it was just a standardized template that shows all the curves on the front prominently, and then the user pictures can be added below the fold once you tap on a curve that looks interesting. I've already told my contact at Wendougee about it, and given that they fixed most of the issues I raised with them before, I hope they'll sort this one out too. Now, does the app have the total flexibility that the Decent has? I don't think so, for just a few reasons that aren't going to be a problem for most users, but for the super espresso nerds who buy machines like the Decent so they can do anything, there are definitely limitations not only on the software, but on the hardware as well. For example, the Decent's hardware lets you control temperature throughout the brew. I've never experimented with this personally, but it's there on the Decent and it's not on the Data S. The Decent can control pressure, flow, or temperature within one shot, whereas the Data S only lets you control either flow or pressure in a given shot. The Wendougee makes a lot of the core functions easier and less sciencey than it was with the Decent, and I would say it's more comfortable to use in my experience to pull nice shots, because I don't always want to do a science experiment when I just want my morning espresso. The Data S has this hardware paddle to pull a shot without having to even open the app, and honestly I've ended up using this a lot of the time and bound a 6-second pre-infusion and an 8.5 bar shot to it with a cutoff at 36 grams. The other thing I would mention though is energy usage. I use smart plugs for my espresso setup, and there is a sharp spike around here after setting up this machine. Compared to the Meraki and the Simonelli Oscar 2 that I've had on my bench before this, the Data S is using up to 8 times more energy. This first month was probably due to me setting the steam boiler at 135 in the beginning, but even with it down at 126, it's still using roughly 5 times more energy than the Meraki because of the steam boiler being double the size. In the UK, at my energy cost in summer when it doesn't have to heat as much to get warm, that's still around £6 per month just to heat up the machine, which is around $8 US. That's quite a lot, so all that extra performance, especially with the steam, does come at a price, and it isn't super efficient. If you're just using it for espresso though, you can switch off the steam boiler entirely, which would save you the majority of the energy cost. Now, the Data S is on Espresso Outlet now for around £2,200 or $2,900 US, so it's certainly not a cheap machine. Now that the worst of the software issues are fixed, this machine is sitting pretty as one of the favorites I've had on this bench. So what do you think about this machine? Is this kind of love child between the Decent and a Linear Mini what you're looking for, or would you prefer to just go full traditional or full science machine rather than this middle ground? Let me know in the comments, and no matter what espresso machine you have, you can improve your shots by picking up a brew ledger from my link in the description. It's on Amazon with Prime delivery in 13 countries, and every sale helps support this channel to continue making videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, you wonderfully overcaffeinated people, and I'll see you on the next one.